All right, everybody, welcome back to Cooking A to Z. Today we're going to be making one of my childhood favorites. We're going to be doing some hot dog sauce. And this is sauce, I grew up in north central West Virginia. So the way we make our hot dog sauce there is you take about 4 cups of water, and I've got 1.5 pounds of ground beef that I've added to the water. You want to make sure that you take the ground beef and break it up. The easiest way to do that really is with your hand. And when you finish, you're going to end up with something that looks like this. What you want to do is bring this to a boil and then drop the heat down so it's just simmering. It's going to go probably somewhere between 45 minutes to an hour. All right, so as you can see, the sauce is starting to boil here, which is what we want to see. So we're going to go ahead and start adding some of our other ingredients into the hamburger and water. I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of ketchup. And to that, we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. We've got ourselves about 1 teaspoon of hot sauce. I'm using Frank's Red Hot sauce. You can really use whatever you'd like. Doesn't make a huge difference. We've got 1/2 of an onion that we've chopped up pretty finely. You want to add that, just dump that right in. And next thing, we've got majority of our spices are in here. We've got 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper in here, teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, and just a little pinch of sugar in there as well. Let's go ahead and dump all that in there as well. And the last spice that we're going to add is we've got 2 tablespoons of chili powder. If you're somebody who would prefer it not being quite as hot, you could probably pull back a little bit on the chili powder. That is up to you. I'm going to go ahead and just give this a stir. And the only other thing we're going to add to this right now is we're going to add a little bit of beer. And there again, this is optional. You don't have to add the beer if you don't want to. I usually don't measure it out. I just try to go for about 1/2 can. So we'll add that in. And as you can see, you've got all these nice rich colors in here. It's starting to smell delicious. I grew up in north central West Virginia, and there were a lot of hot dog shops in the area. We had some pretty famous ones. There was Yan's, there's Woody's. This recipe is about as close as I found to any of those different shops. The big difference between, say, the area I grew up in north central West Virginia, and if you go further south into the Charleston area, down in that area, if you're ordering a hot dog, they're probably going to put coleslaw on it. That's not something that you would find in the area I grew up. Basically, the way you'd have your hot dog would be with the hot dog sauce, some mustard, and a little bit of onion. They never serve it with ketchup. You wouldn't even want to ask for it. But yeah, this is delicious. Like I said, it is the closest I've found to the sauces I grew up with my childhood. I no longer live in the area, haven't for quite some time, but this stuff is delicious. No, it doesn't look like much now, but give it an hour and it's going to be absolutely delicious. So like I said, we're going to let this go 45 minutes to an hour. The only other thing we're really going to add to this is at the end, we're going to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, depending on where we're at with the liquid. Basically, what you're going to want to see at the end is all the liquid that we added to it. So the 4 cups, basically, you want to get as much of that reduced down as you possibly can, and then you add the tomato paste. Makes for a really rich sauce. So we're going to let this go, and we will check back intermittently and show you what it's looking like. So the hot dog sauce has been going now for about 20 minutes. And as you can see, it's starting to reduce down some. I've got it set on a very kind of a low boil at this point. So like I said, that's 20 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and add, now this is something if you don't like a ton of spice in your sauce, you don't have to add this. I've got about a half of a tablespoon of crushed red pepper flakes. I'm just going to go ahead and add those in there. And yeah, so like I said, 20 minutes in, we'll let it go for probably another 40 minutes or so, and then I'll check back in and we'll add the tomato paste into it, and then we'll give it a taste after that, but it's looking good so far. The sauce has been going now for about an hour. As you can see here, this is exactly what we're looking for. You're going to still end up with a little bit of liquid. That's why you're adding the tomato paste to kind of combine that all together. So I'm going to go ahead and add, I've got probably about between 2 and 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. Just go ahead and dump that right in. And then we're going to go ahead and give that a stir, get that incorporated into the rest of the sauce. And then I like to let mine go for probably another, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes, just to kind of make sure all the sauce and tomato paste is incorporated. And after that, we can shut it off the heat and we'll give it a taste test. I gotta tell you guys, this thing smells absolutely delicious. Brings me back to my childhood. One thing we always did when we were growing up, if we went to the places and had the hot dogs, they always had cartons of chocolate milk. So you always got your hot dog with the chili sauce and the chocolate milk. Brings me back. So we will go ahead and give it a couple of minutes to incorporate the tomato paste, and we'll give it a try. All right, here is the finished product. It looks delicious. Let's give it a taste. Yep, that's really good. Like I said, tastes like the stuff I had in my childhood. What are some things that you guys have in your life that when you try it brings you back to your childhood? Let me know in the comments section below. As always, guys, if you like these type of videos, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, we will catch you in the next video. Have another bite.